Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. And my remarks will be quite brief. I believe it's a split call. Mr. Speaker, I want to talk about rural New Zealand and where we're taking the country. Mr. Speaker, I am aghast. I heard the member, the leader of the opposition yesterday, not mention rural New Zealand once. Try and reconcile that, sir, Madam Speaker, if I may, change of seats. Try and reconcile that, Madam Speaker, if I may. 50 billion bucks, not one remark. The Hansard's a wonderful tool. I went through the Hansard to digest if the leader of the opposition would reconcile $56 billion to our economy. And for the sake of this House, I want to share a couple of figures to contextualise where we are and where we're going. Bear in mind, Chris Hipkins didn't share this once. Horticulture, 7 billion bucks, not a mention. Zip, nada, zero. Dairy industry, 22.4, Helen White, $22.4 billion, not a mention by the leader of the opposition. Try and reconcile sheep and beef, Madam Chair. $10.5 billion, Madam Speaker. Again, not a mention, nada, zero, zip, Helen White, from the leader of the Labour Party. The biggest sector in the country got no oxygen, no time, no mention. Fisheries, there's another one. Didn't get a mention, $1.8 billion. Well, I come into this House every day and I represent my party and the people that make $56 billion that member's leader, $56 billion, didn't want to talk about. But Madam Speaker, there is fantastic opportunities that this Prime Minister, this side of the House, my party, our coalition partners have spoken about, and we have delivered because we believe in rural people, absentee owners over the other side. We reformed conversations in and around RMA. What does that actually look like? Long-term water storage facilitation. Well, gracious me, there's a novel idea, Helen White. Intensive winter grazing. Actually listen to the people that do this stuff. Stop evangelical sermons out of Auckland saying, well, you can't do these things with dairy cows. Not one iota. It's not mentioned once in the Hansard. Climate change, the bane of all things, and yet we actually listen to farmers, the technology that they employ, the technology that they couldn't. Let's have an independent review of methane. All the time I hear the sermons in this House, there's no money left. We want to spend all the money, but it's burnt. Well, let's go back to the sector that makes most of it and support them so we have a better future. And we do it on this side of the House. Fresh water, a problem, a real problem in rural New Zealand. We understand there is sedimentation, there's E. coli, there are various attributes of farming that impugn, have a perverse outcome for fresh water. But we listened to locals, we listened to farmers, and we said, genuinely, there can be catchment level solutions. This government did it. We are delivering because we believe in rural people every day. Not when it's convenient, not when it's an election year. Every bloody day I come to this House because I believe in rural New Zealand. SNAs, well, there's a novel idea. Let's protect property rights. Go back to who owns it, who pays the rates, who pays the mortgage, and are they investing in ecological, biological outcomes? Invest in those people and stop restricting what they do with their private land and how they care for it. And finally, Madam Speaker, I'll tie off with animal welfare. Some of the nonsense I have seen previously are framed up in some of the proposed reforms for animal welfare. Totally misunderstood. Helen White, again, Auckland speaking to a farmer, about the overall outcomes when it came to the welfare of animals, how they were farmed, the housing, the farming practices, because we, on this side of the House, actually listen to the people that do it.